Hi, welcome to Shelley Live. I'm Shelley Carter, owner, founder, public speaker, and teacher of Alder Healing Center. Shelley Live, the place where magic happens. Welcome, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. I'm Shelley Carter, your host here in beautiful Lombard from the center of Alder Healing Center, where we provide health and well-being for the body, the mind, and the spirit. So come join us, and thank you for joining us. We look forward to today's conversation, which is worm casting. Or maybe it means something else. We'll see through the show. So if you have any questions about what that is, please put it down in the chat. We'd love to hear from you. And then, are we taking worm castings to bed with us? Now that would be interesting, wouldn't it? So this has been an interesting journey about urban gardening, food sustainability in your communities, and really connecting with the people around you, and sustainability for our own bodies. Remember, nutrient drenched foods is what we're looking for, right? Foods that are drenched, rich with nutrients and nutrition. And where does that come from? Dr. Israel?
Hello, everyone. Glad to be here again for another episode.
Yay! Thank you for being here. This has been so much fun. So, worm castings, to bed with you. So, what are worm castings? Is it where you go fishing and you lure the fish in, or is it something else? Dr. Israel?
When it applies to agriculture, is something else.
Okay, and
Uh,
what could that
it's a
be?
worm poop.
Oh, so symbiotic for one of the things that we do here, like colon hydrotherapy.
hmm hmm Yeah,
So,
and there are similarities to that. The colon hydrotherapy, the testing of a person's stool, it all has organisms in it,
yeah.
microbes.
Yeah, some good and some not so good, which is why we test it, right?
Right.
So when we're looking at stool, and I know we hadn't pre-talked about that, what do we look for healthy in our stool, if that's something that we can talk about for just a brief moment?
Okay, we're looking at the concentration of healthy organisms, and we get a picture of all of the organisms, even the ones that are not so healthy,
Yeah,
and we determine the number of those and if they're going to present a problem.
yeah, which is really what a lot of people need because they're dealing with so many gut issues these days, um, and a lot of times people don't know that these tests are actually available to decipher those things, right?
Right.
Yeah. So you offer those tests though.
Yes, 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 I
Yeah.
do.
So if somebody wanted to have a stool test done, what do they do?
Well, we have a kit that they can take home, and they can take a sample, put it in the little container that is in the kit, and they can mail it off. FedEx. It goes to the lab, and then it comes back, and the lab measures the DNA. That's how they determine the number and type of organisms that's in the DNA. And
Well, that's
so,
interesting.
yeah,
Okay, did not know that.
yeah.
And so now, how does that relate to worms? Because I
Okay,
was surprised at some of the things I've seen in what we've been talking about in terms of products and things like that. So, how does that relate to worms?
okay. Worms, namely the composting worms, which are like red wiggler. We call them red wiggler worms. Um, they exist in the soil, and they burrow these little pockets in the soil to provide aeration for the soil and air, oxygen for the plants. and oxygen for the other organisms that exist in the soil.
Hmm. Okay. So, besides red wigglers, because I remember as a little kid, we'd go pick night crawlers to go fishing the next day with my grandpa. So, are red wigglers also known as night crawlers, or is night crawlers considered an earthworm, or how do you know what it is? Like, what are the different names for the different types, and why would you use one versus another?
Okay, the red wigglers are a smaller worm.
Do you have any?
Yes, yes,
Ooh.
and they are also called night crawlers.
Um,
But the bigger earthworms, they come up a lot of times, but they go deeper than the red wigglers. The red wigglers can go down 6 to 8 inches,
okay.
and the earthworms can go down 6 feet.
Seriously, 6 feet?
Yeah.
Okay, I had no idea. So, how many of you out there knew the difference between the different worms and how deep they actually went into the soil? So, let me see your comments in the chat. What you got there, Dr. Israel?
Okay, this is a red wiggler, and he's trying to wiggle out of
Did I
my
go
fingers.
too?
Yeah. So
So,
this is our workhorse um, for our plants. They do the most. On the on this end, this is the mouth end right here, and then on the opposite end, that's where they poop out. And the poop contains everything that they've eaten, the minerals that they've processed, um, um, and it's pooped in the soil in a manner that is that the plants can uptake and use. So any organic minerals that you put in the soil, it goes through their bodies. They poop it out. Sometimes they can eat some of the other organisms. So, we have other organisms like bacteria, fungi, nematodes, all of those things that's in the soil, and they poop too. They transition the soil for us. So, uh, but this is really a workhorse, and we like to see at least um, at least 15 to 18 of these per square foot of your soil.
okay. So, how do you know how many worms are per square foot in the soil? Is there a way to have your soil tested or checked for that type of thing?
Well, we dig down in the soil. We'll take a trowel, and you can actually measure it off if you want 1 foot square, and you just dig down in there and you count how many earthworms you see down in there, or how many red wigglers, or how many earthworms. And if you don't have any, uh, our solution is to use worm castings or to repopulate that soil with some uh, red
And if you
wigglers.
don't have any, would that mean that it's maybe a sick soil, or would it be like why would there not be any?
Uh, there's no organic matter there. There's nothing for them to eat. Or you may have compacted the soil. Um, or if the soil is have a lot of clay in it where the soil doesn't drain, you can drown you can drown them because you notice when it rains they come to the surface,
Right.
and because they're obligate anaerobes, obligate aerobes, so they need oxygen, and if they don't get oxygen, they come up for air.
Interesting. Now, I've never thought of worms as like they're eating other things. So I would imagine they have some sort of mouth.
Yes.
but maybe it's too small that we just can't see them.
Right. And
So we were talking earlier about and this might be getting a little too technical, but maybe not. But we were talking about the anatomy of a worm, which
mhm,
was surprising to me. Now I know there's one, two opposite ends, but there's always been like that centerpiece. So can
mhm.
you talk about that for a little bit?
Well, in the centerpiece, there's a band, and it looks like I guess we can say it's like a headband around the waist or a little band around the waist,
Hmm.
and that band has all the reproductive organs in there, and so when worms mate, two worms wrap around together, and they secrete a mucus. Uh, and because they are hermaphrodites, they are both male and female.
Hmm.
So they can um, like impregnate each other, and once they separate, they can deposit the eggs in a cocoon, and they put the eggs in the soil, the cocoons in
Okay.
the soil.
So I know one of the questions we had come through was when they can impregnate themselves and
Hmm.
they can impregnate with another worm. And the question was, what is the gestation period of a worm? And then the other question is a two-part question. The other question was, um, what is the approximate lifespan of a worm? Because if we're looking for healthy soil, we want to make sure they're reproducing, right? Or that they're in the best environment to
Hmm.
actually sustain a feel like we're talking about people, sustain a healthy living, right?
Hmm. They can gestate for maybe a few hours, and then they separate and lay their cocoon. If you take care of your worms, uh, they have a life cycle of about 5 years.
Wow.
Yeah, and a lot of people do it via vermiculture, where they um, have these stages and steps of so the worms can go up, and all at that bottom level they deposit all of the poop, and so you can collect that poop, and then they go up to the next level and they do their thing. They eat, and they poop, and then it's like a stair step process.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. I wonder what their digestive tract cycle is. Because, like for humans, from the time that you eat it to the time that you eliminate it, provided we have a healthy digestive system,
Hmm.
um, should be within 17 to 24 hours. So, what you ate for breakfast yesterday should be coming out this morning. What you had for lunch yesterday should be coming out at lunch
Hmm.
today, and so on. So, just a question that popped in my head is like, I wonder what their cycle of elimination is.
Yeah. Well,
And maybe there's not an answer to that at this moment.
yeah. Yeah, but we can always check and look that up and provide answers for um because that's getting into really the technical aspects of earthworm life. And but I imagine that they do poop a lot because it's as they eat, it passes on through.
Yeah. So to get like 4 pounds of it,
Well, just consider that you have so many earthworms in there, and if they sometimes the little tiny cocoons don't may not hatch for uh, like 2 seasons, like they may be dormant and still living throughout the winter, and then when this is in the soil when they're
Mhm.
there. They go down to a depth because they need to stay warm too. Um, and um, and then when conditions are right, they will begin to hatch. But they
So
are
what would be a right condition?
um,
What do we look for?
they have to have enough food. We also discussed that they have to have oxygen, and
Mhm.
your table scraps are a good example of the food because we put that in the compost and that degenerates and some of us like to cut up that food and put it in the worm bin, and we put that on top and they will come up and get it and eat it. Yeah.
And what we're looking for in light of table scraps would be fresh fruits and vegetables, maybe eggshells, coffee, ground
Yeah.
coffee, that type of thing.
Yeah.
So anything you cook or meat, we don't want in that, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can put lettuce in there. You know, any of that uh, works for them.
Hmm.
And sometimes what we do is sometimes we use it like side dressing. Can be growing plants and we can put those little scraps of lettuce on the side, and they'll come and get that too. And
Gotcha.
that's right in the bed.
Yeah. Yeah. They got exactly what they need at the moment they need it.
Yeah.
Kind of
Yeah.
like us getting to the grocery store.
Yeah. So they provide the aeration for the soil. We don't have to do digging or tilling because they are basically the workhorse, and many of them love uh, what they're doing, and we love what they're doing. And
Yeah.
so one of the products that we get um, from them and worm castings is what I do is I put that in my compost tea bag along with some compost, and I make compost tea.
And this is what it looks like.
Yes,
So you're putting air in to have it bubble up, right?
yes,
Yeah.
yes. You have air to go through because they need the air, and the most importantly is what we get out of the compost tea. We get all of those organisms that we need to work with the plant because they are uh, the plant works together with the worms. The plant gives them sugar, and um, and the organisms like the bacteria, the fungi, the nematodes. A lot of them they eat each other, or they eat the one that's lower than them. They eat the bacteria,
Yeah.
and so that's what we want. We want from them um, to place that, make sure that that's in the soil because that is what makes the food nutrient dense.
Yeah. Awesome. So we're going to take a little bit of a break here. And I understand you have some engagements coming up where in a few of the gardens that you participate in, where if you'd like to be a volunteer to help in the garden or to learn something new, Dr. Israel, can you go over the dates that people can actually come out and participate, and then how do they reach you?
Okay.
Okay, that's it's up on the screen now. So go ahead and let's share the dates, and then when the show is over, we'll have the dates down in the comments below.
Okay. Well, we're in the greenhouse now, so you can always volunteer to help out in the greenhouse. We're at uh, the greenhouse basically from 12 to 12:30, 12 or 12:30 to about 3.
Why don't we show what the greenhouse looks like so people get a sense of that?
Okay. So we're at the Fulton Street Greenhouse, and this is one of the raised beds in the greenhouse, and that enables us to grow things throughout the year. Um, and what I'm doing here, and this bed is like 3.5 inches wide, 3.5 feet wide, and 16 feet long. And so what I'm doing is I'm putting some um, inoculant in the soil, and I also put compost tea in the same way.
Okay,
Either way, I'm putting organisms in the soil.
awesome. Okay, so you really just you don't have to dig it into the soil. You can just spray it in on top, and it just soaks through.
Yeah. Yes.
I'm just asking because I don't garden like you do. Okay, what are the dates?
Okay. Um, um, we'll be outside preparing the beds from the 17th of April through the 23rd,
Okay,
and we'll also be direct seeding some of the plants. We'll be actually putting the seeds in the ground, or we'll be transplanting some of the uh, plants that we have started in the greenhouse, like cabbage, collards, all of your uh, plants that don't mind the cool. And in the greenhouse, we'll still be starting seeds that likes the summer heat.
hmm,
Yeah. So that'll be from the 17th to the 23rd. Some of it is on Saturdays. On Saturdays, we do it in the mornings from 10 to 12, or we can do it in the afternoon from about 1 to 3.
okay, and then the weekdays are from
The weekdays, we usually do it from 9 till about 3:30.
okay, and there's three different locations currently that people can volunteer at or participate in.
Yes, we are at the African Garden and the Preserve Garden. They're on Central Park and 12th Place,
Okay.
and the Slum Busters Garden, and that's on 19th and Trumbull in the
Okay.
city. Mhm.
And the Stone Temple.
And the Stone Temple Garden is on the 3600 West on Douglas Boulevard. So that's Central Park and Douglas.
Okay,
And
awesome.
they usually are there from every Thursday from uh, 10 to 12.
Very good. So, everyone, all of you who are listening, please reach out to Dr. Israel. And there's some benefits by volunteering. What are those?
Uh, One benefit is that you can participate in the harvest. You can take some things home for your table, and
Mm.
you get to. Yes, it's good eating, and the taste is so different. People often tell me, "Man, those collards were great. That food tastes different than the store."
It's so cute. I love that one video we showed in one of the prior episodes with the one lady who has her collards and her tomatoes, and she's like, "Ooh, guess what I'm having for dinner tonight?"
Hmm. Yeah.
That could be you guys who are watching.
Hmm. Yep. It's really great. I love it. I love growing my own, and we encourage people to grow their own food. Uh, it 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 really makes a difference in your pocketbook and for your health.
Yeah, yeah. So be sure and reach out to Dr. Israel with all your questions and to let them know that you want to participate or volunteer and get your hands in the dirt and just get grounded in life, grounded in community, and grounded with having an elevated spiritual awareness because that's what's available for you by actually gardening, even if it's working with your house plants. But getting outside, being in a sense of nature will actually feed your soul. So Anything you want to say? Anything else you want to say, Dr. Israel, about your the gardens?
Yes, a reporter asked me yesterday um, what was my definition of food justice,
Mm,
and I said food justice to me is everybody having the opportunity to eat nutrient dense food,
yeah,
because the other answer is that you're going to get these conditions, you're going to get these diseases, um, and everybody, we want to see them live a long time. We want to see their progeny, live a long time. And that's often uh, another question that people have. We got all of these doctors, all of these things happening. Why are the children still suffering with these childhood diseases? So we just got to provide a better nutrition for everyone.
yeah, yeah. I agree 100%. And the conversation we're always having here at the center is eating food in its whole state, and then how do you get nutrient dense and rich foods? Which I love the gardening, and not everybody's going to want to garden, but you want to get the best quality possible.
Right.
So we're going to do another segue here and show you what's new on the website. So just give me one moment. And when we go to alderhealingcenter.com and go to the About page, yep, there I am. And then when we scroll all the way down, Nick is our lymphatic drainage specialist. Check out his information. He is beyond amazing. And then we have another colon therapist who joined us about almost 2 months ago now. And her name is Renee. She's amazing. She was with me years ago when I first opened up, and she's back. So, yay! Welcome back, Renee. And then we have a nurse practitioner here, Beverly Knagle, nurse practitioner. There'll be more information coming about her soon, but you can reach out to us if you'd like to schedule an appointment. She's doing a lot of virtual calls and she'll be in and out of the office. So be sure and reach out to us to schedule an appointment. And then, of course, we have Dr. Israel. Yay! And so he is our functional medicine practitioner, as well as a wealth of other areas he's been trained in, and his obviously his passion is the urban gardening and sustainability and building a strong community and educating people in how they can live better, do better, healthier life and lifestyles. So I'm so grateful to have you here, Dr. Israel. And just a few things I do want to let you know. Let's go all the way back to the top. And we're gonna go shopping. Oh, before I go into shopping, guess what you can do now? You can actually book your appointments through the Alder Healing Center app. Yes, ma'am, you and sir, you can do that today, right now. So you can install the apps on your Android or your iPhone and book all your appointments from there. And if you have any questions, you can feel free to call us and we'll walk you through the process if you have any questions. But it's super easy. It's like installing any kind of app. Yeah, you got that. And last but not least, I wanted to remind you guys of
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Alder Healing Center. I'm so excited. Yes, this is the moment we've been waiting for. So, where is our mystery box? So many of you have responded as far as what you think might be in it. So, wait a minute. Could the mystery box be in here? Wait a minute. There's nothing in here. What's this? It's the mystery gift reveal. Yay! So, shall we see what's in it? Let me see your yeses. Click down below.
So to find out more about the mystery box, go to the website, check out the video, and you can go to YouTube because the video is also on our YouTube channel. Please be sure to subscribe and like so you're informed of new videos that are coming out. Catch up on the old ones to catch you up to date with what we're doing with urban gardening and worm casting and so much more. Let's see. Oh, one of the questions that came in is there a way to test your soil? And what would you like? What is revealed in the testing?
Sorry about that. We usually take a soil sample. We go down 6 inches, put that in the bag. We send it to the lab. We send it to Logan's lab, and we can test the nutrients in it, the foundational minerals, as well as the micronutrients. And we can also do heavy metal and the toxic test. Usually that's a separate test, and it will cost you between $85 and $150.
Yeah.
Um,
I was surprised that that's all it would cost because I was thinking it might cost 200 to 500. And I know a lot of times people are looking at, okay, I'm really trying to cut my costs and still have a garden that produces something. The thing I find surprising is how many people don't prepare the soil, actually prep the soil before they actually plant something to know what's in it. So I think the test for heavy metals, especially with all the toxins in the air, would be a critical test to have done. And I love that it's very reasonable, 85 to 150, knowing that you're going to get the best quality from what you're farming, so to speak, or producing.
yes,
You want the best quality out of it, right?
that's correct. Yes, uh, you want to you want to know what's in the soil, no matter whether you're growing something or whether you want to live there. You
Mhm.
always want to know what's in the soil
Yeah.
because sometimes you walk barefoot on it, sometimes your children play on it,
Mm,
and and um, and it's critical if you want to eat from it.
yeah. Yeah. There was a picture with, I don't remember what the bottle was, but, and you can tell me after I share what it is, because it actually was a nutrient that had a lot of probiotics in it, which
Yes,
are really great for gut health. So I was really surprised to see it on the bottle that you use to, do you put it in the soil or does it go in the compost, the water, the tea that you make? Ah,
yes,
here it is.
yes. It can go in the soil, directly in the soil. We usually dilute it, maybe an ounce of it to a gallon of water, and we just spray the nutrients in the right directly in the soil. And they are similar to the same nutrients that we have in our gut. So the soil is the stomach for the plant.
The soil is the stomach for the plant.
Mhm.
Food for thought, folks. Yeah.
So
What were you gonna? Oh yeah, we've got yay!
this is
I don't
our
know if you guys remember from our last show, we planted some seeds.
so this is how the collards are doing. And the seeds the leaves on the outside, when it grows a little bigger, they're the ones that we'll eat. So we will harvest them from the outside. And that little tiny, if you can see the center, you can see that another leaf is starting to grow from the center.
Yeah,
So
yeah, nice.
Yeah. So
Yay!
we prepared these little babies to be healthy. So we're going to put them in soil that is healthy, and then the way we benefit from that, we can benefit from all of those nutrients and minerals that the plant has uptaken.
Amazing. Amazing. So, so given the size that the plant is now, how long will it take to get to the size that we can actually eat it? Like
I'm
3 weeks, 4 weeks?
Yeah, I'm thinking about the May 1st. It should be we should be eating from this.
Okay, in a couple months then.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, I get to,
But this is April, so we don't have that long. Maybe about.
oh, yes, it is, isn't it? Oh, yeah, yesterday was April Fool's Day.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Yay, that's exciting. So if you've started your garden, let us know what you're planning. And how soon your plants will become available. And yeah, this is exciting. So we'd love to hear from you and share with us what you guys are up to with your gardens. And somebody just wrote in that, so, and it has to do with the wood that you use for the beds, because I know that there's wood that's pre-treated with chemicals. So is there a particular kind of wood that you would look for to build the beds, or will any wood work, or how can you share about that?
Yeah, well, any untreated lumber is good because you don't want the toxins and chemicals to leach into your food.
Yeah.
So what we use typically is cedar wood. Cedar wood is expensive, but it lasts from 8 to 10 years.
Oh, okay.
That's what we use. We try to use it exclusively. And if you use any other wood that's treated, you'd have to line it with like a landscape fabric, and
Gotcha.
to keep or either some plastic to keep it from leaching any chemicals into your food.
Well, to me, it would make sense to just get for me, I'd rather invest a little bit more, knowing that it's going to last longer, because I'm all about longevity. Because if you have to replace it every few years, then you're spending more money on the long run. And
Yeah,
then getting it untreated, I like the fact that then you don't have to worry about
yeah,
toxins leaching into the food, because part of why you grow it is so it's healthy, right?
right. So you just said pay now or pay later.
And later, it's usually a whole lot more.
Right, right.
Yeah. Dr. Israel, any last words for our audience today?
I just say live and live well.
Mm, love it. Thank you for joining us today at Shelley Live, and we look forward to seeing you next month for our next program. Have a beautiful day.
So come join us under the alder tree where magic happens. 630-328-3928. You can also reach us at info@alderhealingcenter.com to book via email, or you can go to our website at alderhealingcenter.com, book appointments there, and find out what else we're up to. So reach out to us today, 630-328-3928.